What's going on, Summoners? Welcome back to another ProGuides Wild Rift video. I'm Kangas, and today I'm bringing you 50 rapid-fire Wild Rift facts. These will vary from gameplay tips, champion lore, and even unique Wild Rift trivia. But before we begin the list, we got a question of the day. What format of videos do you want to see more of? We've been experimenting a lot on this channel with different kinds of content, so we're wondering which ones you personally enjoy watching the most. My vote is our Guess the Rank series, but I've been told that my vote doesn't count. But let me know yours in the comments down below, and let's get into the video. Number 1. Champions can build a total of 6 items, one of which having to be a boot enchantment. 2. Boots all have active abilities, providing a small burst of speed at the first 2 stages, and then building into a unique active enchantment. Number 3. The Redemption Enchant is the perfect item for supports who want to be useful, even in death. The range of the enchant is really large, but Redemption does take some time before it lands. Number 4. This one's more of a tip. Be sure to turn on minimap autopathing. This can be found in the settings menu and allows you to tap on the minimap to move your designated champion. The function is super useful when moving to your lane from base. 5. Maximum champion level in Wild Rift is 15, allowing 4 upgrades of each base skill and 3 upgrades for the ultimate ability. You can upgrade the ultimate ability at levels 5, 9, and 13. Oh, and by the way, for more beginner facts and tips, be sure to check out our complete beginner's guide to Wild Rift. That video goes over all the basic knowledge needed to learn Wild Rift before you go through a video like this. 6. Draven, the Glorious Executioner, is a showman who earned his reputation as an executioner at a prison. He would give his victims one last chance to run for their lives, after which he would throw his axe at them, executing his target. The crowd loved his flash and pizzazz, correlating directly with Draven's passive that grants him extra gold upon execution. 7. Darius, Draven's older brother, was the executioner's only family. He heavily influenced Draven's attachment over the axe, serving both as a role model and a guardian for him. Learning from a young age that only the strong survive in Noxus, Darius became a seasoned warrior, earning more scars at the age of 12 than most soldiers do in a lifetime. He may seem excessively violent, but Darius is not a bloodthirsty murderer. He's a righteous warrior who always fights for his own just cause, leading Noxus to a glorious future. And if you want to make bonds just as strong as Draven and Darius over Wild Rift, make sure to check out the ProGuides Wild Rift community Discord to get more involved with the ProGuides fam. Number 8. Sapphire Crystal, since patch 2.2, now stacks mana with every spell usage. These max out at 250 stacks, expanding and transferring Tear of the Goddess once it's upgraded. This allows for players to stack a massive mana pool from very early on in the game, but these items are limited to 1 per champ. 9. Sheen is the most preliminary item form, no longer building from Sapphire Crystal. The item has become cheaper, offering ability haste without any bonus mana, allowing non-mana reliant champions to gain full benefits of the item. 10. Harmonic Echo is a Wild Rift exclusive item, a go-to tool for enchanter support since it heals the target alongside 3 other champions. But note that to proc the item's passive, you need to heal or shield somebody besides yourself. 11. Protector's Vow is another Wild Rift exclusive support item, but this one for tanks. This item grants a shield and additional health for you and an ally when either takes damage. The item helps prevent getting bursted down, but has a 30-second cooldown. 12. Infinity Orb also does not exist in League PC, granting AP damage dealers crit damage on their abilities when executing a target. This item excels on champions like Katarina. 13. Awakened Soul Stealer grants ability haste for your ultimate, scaling with unique takedowns. Another item that's absent in League PC. For ultimate reliant champions, this item is very good, but shouldn't be rushed since the passive scales rather than providing an immediate power boost. 14. Sunfire Aegis does not provide armor in Wild Rift, but is built from 2 health items granting ability haste alongside health. 15. Winter's Approach is the tank item built from Tear of the Goddess, which now grants ability haste scaling with 1% of the total amount of mana. Since the item's finished version, Fimbulwinter grants 1200 mana, the max total ability haste from the item on its own is 120. That's 54.55% CDR, by the way. 16. Wild Rift has no pink or vision wards. The only ward coverage available is through the usage of trinkets, which rely on cooldowns. The only other vision options are from champion abilities, scuttle crabs, or vision plants. 17. When playing Sona at the very beginning of the game, using your first ability initially from base will increase your first burst trade. Having the extra stack on her passive makes acquiring her 3 ability stacks easier in lane, granting her extra damage from the first early trade. 18. Inhibitors do not respawn in Wild Rift, so taking down an inhib means permanent super minions for that lane for the rest of the match. This is part of the reason why coming back from a losing game is so hard. 19. Every team composition, regardless of specific picks, always benefits from having a tank. Frontline and crowd control is essential, and without them, winning a game is just way more difficult. 20. If you buy something in the shop that you didn't mean to, there is an undo button at the bottom right to go back a step. This can only be used if you don't step outside of the base and is much more cost effective than selling the item. 21. At level 4, Jungler's Smite evolves, transforming to Red or Blue Smite. Blue slows the target, while Red allows more damage output for a short amount of time on that target. Different jungle champions benefit from having different smites. 22. Red Brambleback and Blue Sentinel evolve after respawning 480 seconds into the game, providing stronger buffs. 23. Gloria skins are all unique to Wild Rift, serving as season rewards for ranked. 24. Wild Rift seasons are way shorter than League PCs, lasting only around 3 months each. This means more rewards and also faster ranked resets. 25. Role selection is definitely coming soon, though the unannounced date is still unknown. Riot tested the function and achieved great success with the playtest though, so expect it sometime soon. 26. There are 3 teleporting ultimates in the game currently: Pantheon, Twisted Fate, and Galio. These are all fantastic tools for gaining control of the map. 27. Unfortunately, you cannot dance or taunt in Wild Rift. RIP. 28. Instead, players have champion poses after locking in during champion select. These can be bought with unique poses for each champion and even different poses for certain skins. 29. Holding down the center of the screen brings out the wheel, which allows for 10 unique emotes to be equipped at once. 30. There are no seasonal skin sales in Wild Rift, so there's really no point in waiting on buying a skin to get cheaper. The only sales present are for the certain limited time skin bundle sets. 31. All champions cost the same amount on Wild Rift, that being 5,500 blue modes. This is pretty expensive, but you are given lots of free champion chests, so make sure you're utilizing those. 32. The champion mastery system in Wild Rift functions vastly differently from League PCs. Winning games with a champion grants a small amount of points. Acquiring a specific amount gives you specific levels. It takes 1,200 points for level 4, 2,500 points for level 5, 5,500 points for level 6, and 10,000 for level 7. 33. Having high mastery does not mean that players are incredibly skilled. There are bronze players at the top of the leaderboard for specific champions, so don't let somebody's champion mastery intimidate you. 34. Wild Rift tends to release champions a bunch at a time by specific regions that they belong in. Darius and Draven belong to Noxus, Tristana, Corki, Kennen, and Lulu are Yordles of Bandle City, and Pantheon, Diana, and Leona are from the region of Targon. 35. Diana and Leona are actually very close friends, despite their very much contrasting character designs. Diana seeks to bring harmony between the sun and the moon, finding clear evidence that the two are not actually enemies. But Leona is very ingrained in the Solari's teachings and refuses to accept Diana's views. They fought at the summit of Mount Targon, Diana hoping to bring reform, while Leona fought to preserve the dominance of the Solari faith. 36. Although Jarvan IV is officially known as Prince Jarvan, in the lore, he is now in the position to take the place as King of Demacia. Jarvan's father, Jarvan III, was slain in battle, leaving the throne empty. But Jarvan IV feels he's not quite prepared for the heavy role of king, believing he needs to grow more as an individual before becoming suitable to rule. 37. Players have the ability to switch out the challenge missions given to them, granting 3 switches per day. This allows you to acquire better missions more accommodated to your role. 38. Unlike League PC, Lee Sin has the ability to safeguard any open space without the need of wards. This makes his mobility absolutely unmatched in Wild Rift, with a creative capability to dash anywhere around the map. 39. Lulu's polymorph leaves behind a circle, which can be interacted with by both enemies and allies. Allies grant an attack speed and movement speed buff, while enemies become polymorphed into a small animal, unable to cast abilities or attack. In League PC, the skill is actually just a point and click. 40. Seraphine's ultimate extends whenever it passes through an enemy or allied champion, potentially becoming incredibly long. This makes the skill really beneficial in locking down multiple targets. 41. Aurelion Sol can fly through all terrain when utilizing his third ability, Comet of Legends. This ability lasts around 9 seconds and is what makes his roams so devastating on Wild Rift. 42. In Wild Rift, it takes around 9 seconds to go from mid lane to bot lane. This time was recorded using level 1 Vayne with no items, timing from the middle brush to the bottom brush. But in League of Legends, utilizing the same criteria and champion, it takes 13 seconds. 43. Typing in Wild Rift rarely improves team play. There's very few benefits to typing in game, and oftentimes the typing function is only utilized to flame teammates or just complain about the state of the game. Players are better off not utilizing this function to communicate, but much rather pinging to facilitate team plays. 44. Rakan and Xayah, the duo lane couple, have a unique advantage to their pairing. They can recall together, one joining the other to join their recall timer rather than having to cast the spell from the very beginning. 45. Though Vi's ultimate cannot be stopped, smashing through champions and minions alike, she still takes damage while in this state. It's possible to even kill her before she reaches her target, although the knockup effect will still persist. 46. Vi actually started off as a criminal, always picking street fights. She was always seen with a black eye or an injury of some sort, and eventually created her own gang. Vi excelled at getting her way through the usage of her fists, gaining a reputation for being hot-headed. Later on in her life, she risked her life to fight for the lives of innocent bystanders caught in the middle of a massive fight. She attacked the entire gang responsible by herself, giving them a legendary beating. She eventually joined with Sheriff Caitlyn, a potential future champion in Wild Rift, to administer peace in Piltover. 47. Jinx exists in the same city of Piltover, constantly antagonizing Vi. She creates very unflattering caricatures and graffiti of the melee jungler, hoping to create anarchy at every given opportunity. Though she seems crazy, her antics are very well thought out, pinpointing her antics in order to maximize total chaos. Nobody knows when she snapped, but Jinx was originally known as a fairly innocent, curious inventor. 48. When Wild Rift first released its stores for open beta, Xin Zhao, Ezreal, and Blitzcrank were undeniably strongest champions in the game. Ezreal's skill shots dealt way too much damage and were also way too easy to hit. Blitzcrank's base damage was so high he could 100-0 pretty much every support with a single grab. And Xin Zhao's engage and ultimate were just way too reliable. Thankfully, they've all been nerfed and are no longer the uncontested strongest. 49. Wild Rift features an additional unique currency called Poro Coins. These can be acquired through weekly chests and other events, and can be exchanged for champion poses that will switch out over time. You can also exchange Poro Coins for a Poro chest, which grants a random reward. And 50. Our final fact is that Wild Rift is very free-to-play friendly, unlike lots of other mobile games. There are aesthetic advantages to spending money, but no real gameplay aspects are locked behind a paywall. This means that skill will always dominate overall in Wild Rift. Well, thanks for watching today's video, everybody. Make sure to answer a question of the day in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the content, like the video and sub to the channel. It really helps us bring you more content in the future. But most importantly, as always, best of luck on the Rift. Stay hydrated, and I'll see you next time.